everyone. I'm Rosemary. This is 91.3 WYEP Pittsburgh. And when we have a live and direct session, we are very lucky to have a wonderful WYEP audience. I want to point out that these folks are the very ones that make this possible. What is this? Well, today, Waxahatchee, here in the WYEP studios, or at least one member of Waxahatchee, that's Katie Crutchfield is here with us, and welcome to WYEP, and would love for you to play a song for us, please.
Thank you.
Today, you interrupt, you yell in my face, but you finally hear me say that I'll walk. I'm walking away. I watch myself shedding my skin, dreaming about the potential, the person I could have been. I left home with nothing. I left home with nothing. I left home with nothing. First saw you through childish eyes. I was in love with a song, a fleeting glimpse romanticized, and I hoped you'd let me hang on, and I went along. I lied to myself. I always knew it was wrong. I poured everything out. It never would be enough. I kissed you goodbye and hid for the rest of your life. I stayed out of your way. I stayed out of your way. I stayed out of your way. I'm fading, fading away. I'm fading, fading away. I'm fading, 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 fading away.
Thank you. 91.3 WYEP Pittsburgh. We're here with Waxahatchee, or, well, part of that band. This is Katie Crutchfield is here with us. Now, Waxahatchee is a full band, right?
Yes and no. It's sort of my project, my songs, with a changing cast of characters sort of in the studio and both on stage. But as of now, we have sort of 5 people that tour with me on stage and have been with me for a little bit now.
So this is what happens when you're the boss. They get to sit and relax, and you get to do the work here on stage today.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said, you guys take 5. I got this.
You're a nice boss, but be careful. They could start a union on you, and then you'll be in big trouble. So the new album is here, and it's called Out in the Storm. You're going to be playing Spirit tonight with the band. Now, from my vantage point, it looks like this is a banner year. It feels like there's momentum. I'm hearing people talking about you in a way that, I knew about you before, but I'm hearing more and more people like the buzz is here. Do you feel that? I mean, you're working, you're out on the road, you're working, you're putting the music out there for years. Can you feel that there's anything happening?
A little bit, yeah. I feel like I'm pretty good at turning off the noise, but I think the big difference for me was when there was no buzz at all to now when there's some. Once there started to be some, as it grows and grows, it doesn't feel that much different. But it is exciting. It's cool that people have responded well to the record.
Oh, they're responding in a very big way. I think people are buying into this record on a very personal level, which is not totally surprising because it is a very personal record. I mean, it feels sometimes like it's a little bit of public therapy. Do you ever feel that way?
Definitely. I mean, I think sort of saying what I say on the record was pretty cathartic for me, but I find that the more sort of hyper specific you are about your own experiences, strangely, the more people will relate. And vice versa. When you're really vague about things, I think sometimes people don't really connect with it as much. So as I was writing, I was sort of thinking like, I feel like maybe people will, be able to kind of, just connect with what I'm saying, even though it's just totally experience-based.
Well, if you're sitting down with a friend to talk about, a breakup that you're going through, you're not being vague with your friend. You're telling them specifics, and that's a little bit, I feel like, what's happening here.
Yeah, there's definitely moments on the album that after I've sort of finished writing the song, I thought, this feels like I'm like ranting to a friend, and then there's other parts I feel like, the relationship that I'm sort of talking about, I feel like, often I didn't really have a voice. So sort of everything I wanted to say in the moment, but didn't. That can be pretty powerful too for people, I think so.
Yeah, this is a chance to actually take hindsight and make it feel like it's not passive anymore, that it's something that's actually happening.
Right, totally.
So the album, when you went into the studio, I've read some people saying like, this is sort of like your big girl album. Like the albums that came before this, the 3 albums before that, they were kind of lo-fi affairs. And this is serious now. She's serious now. So, I mean, did you approach the record in that way? Like, oh, it's time to take a new step?
I definitely felt like I wanted to do something different. So I think that it was more than it felt like a progression or like a big step up. It just sort of felt like a step in a different direction for me. I kind of had made the decision long before I even, went into the studio that I wanted to make a record in a different way and with different people than I had done my previous 2, because those were made exactly sort of the same way and with the same people. So by the time I actually got into the studio, it felt so like normal and regular, and like I was so ready for it that it, wasn't like that. Didn't feel like that much of a step. It just sort of felt like a natural sort of move.
Well, you're a co-producer on the record, and John Agnello is the other producer of it. Is that
yes,
it?
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about him. And there are some producers that really take a big hand in an album, and there are others that just sort of give slight direction. Which was his approach?
I think that John's really good at reading whatever I needed in the moment. I think some artists really like producers to sort of be really curt with their opinions and sort of like really insert themselves into the process. And I think other artists kind of need to be coddled and nurtured, and I'm definitely the latter. So I think that John sort of picked up on that and was really, really good and nurturing. And he would push, I think, when he knew he should push, and then he would kind of scale back when he knew that, I maybe was in a moment where I needed space. So I think that producers too are a big part of that job is sort of just dealing with people and knowing how to read people. And he's really good at that.
Sounds like he's a little bit of a therapy going on there.
Definitely.
And there was one other song before we get to another a song here. I was listening to that song, and we talked a little bit about the more personal you are, that people relate to it more. But do you ever get to a point after you've sung a song a number of times that it doesn't feel as personal, that it feels like a song that belongs to like a larger audience, and you can step back from it and say, oh, I get it now. I did learn something from this.
Definitely. I think that I'm sort of the most possessive over my songs, like right after I write them and they're sort of in the early demoing stages. And then really once I release them and I'm singing them every night, I'm kind of ready to like let go of them. And even with, this record, I feel like I feel very much on the other side of all the things that I'm writing about. So now it's sort of like there's a little bit of a disconnect, but it's in a positive way, I think.
Yeah, breakups are good for some things, really. If you know how to glean them, they can be great for you. So we are here with Katie Crutchfield, Waxahatchee, and Out in the Storm is the new album, playing Spirit tonight, and would love to have you do a couple of tunes for us here on WYEP.
Cool. Shaking like a leaf, I was clenching my fears, I was losing my mind, yeah, I was dancing with death, when I stood in my front yard, felt the sun on my face, it just felt like a rerun, holding everything in place. Waiting for permission to take off. When we were new to each other in the city after dark, you were so condescending. You wrote me and gave me a part. See, I always gravitate toward those who are unimpressed. I saw you as a big fish, I saw you as a conquest, and I know for you it's easy to walk away. You would never ask permission. Reciting lines of remorse, I was losing my mind, yeah, I was halfway out the door, I was out of my body, reciting lines of remorse, I was losing my mind, yeah, I was halfway out the door, I was out of my body, reciting lines of remorse, I was losing my mind, yeah, I was halfway out the door, I was out of my body, reciting lines of remorse, I was losing my mind, yeah, I was halfway out the door, I was halfway out the door. Thank you. We pretend to be kind, I hold everything back. You put feeling tapers off, my feeling tapers off. Reality is lost, reality is lost. I move delicately, I slowly choose my words, and when my presence is filled, I fly away just like a bird. A jagged truth left unheard. And I live a little more, I live a little more. And I die a little more, I die a little more. I live a little more, I live a little more. And I die a little more, I die a little more. I live a little more, I live a little more. And I die a little more, I die a little more. Thank you.
91.3 WYEP, Katie Crutchfield, Waxahatchee playing at Spear tonight. The new album is called Out in the Storm. And just want to point out, if you're listening to this, this record rocks in a lot of places, right? So like you have to sort of do this balancing act where you can do things more acoustic, and then you get on the stage and you just let it rip.
Yeah, I really like to do it both ways. I really like to perform solo. I really like to perform like with all the energy of the rock band. So I feel fortunate that I sort of get to do both pretty often.
Have you ever written a song and you think, okay, this is going to be this is going to be wild, and then it just does not go in that direction? It just nope, I'm a ballad, or the vice versa?
It's usually the opposite. It's usually sort of I write songs that I think are gonna be solo, and then I sort of am playing around with them, and I'm like, no, this needs drums, or it needs more to it. So I think it happens pretty often, and that's exciting. Like that's sort of like one of the exciting things about writing songs. You kind of never know, where it's gonna fall.
It's the great creative process. You got to live through it, and that's kind of the fun of it. And now you've been doing this for a long time. You started what? Like you were in a band with your sister when you were like 15?
Yeah, well, younger than that. We played our first show when we were 15. We started when we were about 13 or 14. She's in the audience right now, actually. She's live on my Instagram. We started when we were really young, and we've pretty much been going ever since we were about 15.
Now, you're twins. We should say your sister Allison has her own album out.
She does, yes.
Was she sort of going through the same thing that you were at the same time, that created sort of a similar album theme?
Yes, definitely. We sort of have parallels like that happen in our lives pretty often. We're sort of always waxing and waning at the same time. And so, she, wrote a really excellent album that has very similar themes to mine earlier this year. And now we're both doing much better.
Ever try to steal a line from her?
What'd you say?
Ever try to steal a line from her?
No, we do accuse each other of stealing ideas from each other pretty frequently, but there's never much meat to that. It's just sort of like we just have our moments. But
it's interesting because Tegan and Sarah did a studio session here about a year ago, and I know that you've opened for them, and they're twins. They started when they were really young, and they talked a little bit about how difficult it was at some point where, you're at an age where you start to separate from your family and you're creating your own individual self. But when you're in a band and it's with a family member, that can be a challenge. So the two of you work together for a while, but you seem to very comfortably find different directions to head in.
Yeah, that was sort of something we had to like actively pursue, because I think being twins, it's so natural to just stick together always. You're sort of like, you go your whole life with this like shared identity. So we very intentionally sort of decided at a certain point after we had been making music together for a long time that we wanted to kind of go down our own paths. And obviously, once we had done that for a long time, we've kind of come back around together. And even though I think a lot of the creative aspects of what we do is still very separate, going on tour and sort of like, as far as like just spending time together and working together kind of in like a less creative way is something that we still very much want to do all the time.
You've toured with a bunch of really cool people. I know the New Pornographers, Sleater Kinney, right?
Yes.
So there's got to be moments where you get to interact with people and you learn something, or, you get pieces of advice. I mean, do you ever just stand on the side of the stage and think, I've never done that, I should try that? Are there things that you pick up from just watching people who have already forged a way that they create their own distinct sound?
Definitely, in so many ways. I mean, not only just performing, but just watching how people sort of like conduct their business, or, how people like, go on the road and, producers people choose to work with and things like that. I feel like I've been really fortunate. I've gotten to watch a lot of my heroes sort of up close, and I definitely am always picking up stuff from them.
It's amazing, when you're a little kid and you think, I like music and I want to do music. A lot of people have those kind of dreams. There's something you want to do. It's another thing to actually create it. I mean, do you ever just like have that moment where you stop and you think, we're doing this. We didn't just think, oh, this is a cool idea. We're doing this.
Every day. Yeah. Every day I think that, because I really feel like when Alice and I were first starting, everything that I'm doing right now in this moment and all of those people I've gotten to tour with and being like on Merge Records and things like that, it's sort of all of those things were exactly what I wanted to be doing. So I feel very fortunate that I get to do it.
And she'll be doing it tonight. Waxahatchee playing at Spirit. The new album is called Out in the Storm. If you're looking for a really great record to sort of dig deep into and just sink into in an evening, great record to do it with.
Thank you.
Katie, would you do another tune for us, please?
Sure. Train to Berlin today when I Thank you.
One of my favorite songs off the album. Thank you. Well, it's time for us to wrap things up. I know you have a busy day ahead of you, and I want you to get some sunshine. That, you got to get that vitamin D and all that going. So Waxahatchee tonight. Spirit is the place. Out in the Storm is the great new record. Katie Crutchfield, thank you so much for taking your time today.
Thank you for having me. Great.